Welcome everyone to Circle Up, a Mizzou basketball podcast, where because of load management, I'm unable to take out the trash. I'm joined as always by Curtis, but not as always by Mike, who
doing some load management of his own.
He's doing some load management of his own.
Yeah, can't play every game.
Yeah, he's a single dad who works two jobs. So
loves his kids and never stops.
So sometimes he's got to be there with his kid. And God's amazing grace. Thanks to God's amazing grace, Mike is being a father, but he can't be here today. So it'll just be us two yapping. You ready to yap, Curtis?
I'm always ready to yap. Unfortunately, yeah. I'm a yapping stats, baby. I'm wearing two hats today.
So no big news coming from the Howard game, but we do have two games this weekend. Funny enough, we have SEMO on Friday and we have VMI, acronym that as you will, on Sunday. But first, I thought I'd open with just some general angst amongst the fan base. Whenever we're in this part of the season where we're still waiting to see what this team can be, people want to see all the players play. They want to have a feeling of what this team could be. And I think also there's a little bit of trauma from how Gates has handled injuries in the past. Comes out, on after Howard, they said they feel like Trent Pierce is going to play this Friday. They felt like Anar Patang is going to play this Friday. And then it comes out yesterday they're not going to play. And Trent Burns is still not ready to play either. So we still have two forwards and a center who can't play when they're hypothetically supposed to be playing. The reason we're playing these easy games in the first place is so they can gel before the difficult games come around, and they're still not playing. So at least on the message boards, I'm trolling Power Mizzou, I'm trolling on Twitter, I'm reading people's reactions, and in general, of course, the people allowed us are going to generally be the most negative. People are just frustrated with how Gates handles injuries. This feeling that he's not forward about it, that maybe they're just way too hyper-cautious around injuries and are holding guys out for very minor things. I think there's just a lot still left from the Home Mosley situation a few years ago. But, Curtis, how do you feel about both the injuries we have already at the beginning of the season, but also how does the Gates staff handle injuries in general?
So I'll start with right now, because I think if you're going to have injuries to a bunch of big men like we kind of are dealing with right now, you'd rather have it come you'd rather have to sit those guys out against teams that you're going to be bigger than them regardless. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We are still going to have more size than these teams. We'll be okay. So if there's any sort of risk involved or just caution about maybe aggravating the injury worse or whatever, I'm cool. I'm cool sitting him out now. In general, he does kind of have that playoff hockey coach approach to things. You know what I mean? It's just
very close to the best.
Lower body injury day to day, and then it comes out that he had a broken leg for a month and a half, but you don't find out until after the playoffs.
That's the thing, is that you have guys who are being held out right now for nothing, for small injuries, day to day.
As far as we know, yeah.
And you had Tamar Bates, who broke his hand and played the rest of the season without them ever saying a word. Now, obviously, it's a different situation. You're in the middle of the season. You're on this high. He has to play. You can't sit him out.
He's a senior, yeah.
So it's just it's also where were they afraid if they said that he had a hurt hand, people would just slap his hand all the time, potentially?
Yeah. But that's why they do it in hockey, because they don't want people targeting your injuries. Yeah.
So I think normally people are whatever, competitive advantage, whatever my coach wants to do. But I just feel there's always a group that is wanting to ding Gates on whatever he can because they're still mad about I think there's a solid group, very vocal group of the fan base who just thinks Gates actually isn't going to be the guy that gets us there and are looking at any single thing that could make them upset. I think that's part of it. I think a second thing is coaches are never going to be honest about injuries, and that's just always going to upset people.
Especially early in the year like this. I don't know. We're trying to evaluate new guys and evaluate the the new kind of cohesive roster and see who's working and who's not. And then, like you said, after the Howard game, we kind of thought we were going to see some of these guys play tomorrow, on Friday, that is. Mm-hmm. And that's looking like it's not the case now. So it's just kind of, it's the unknown part of it. And I mean, again, if it's better for the team, I don't care.
But people want to see the players play. People want to see what this team at full strength looks like. That's the biggest thing.
They'll get chances, hopefully.
Especially, I think we consider three players that have so much mystery around them.
Mm-hmm.
Trent Burns, everyone wants to see him actually do stuff on the court.
Yeah.
The pictures of him are always crazy. We want to see him in the court. Boat was someone
yeah.
who had an amazing game against Howard, and people were like, "Oh, I want to see this keep going," and then all of a sudden he's not playing. And Pierce is someone.
Was that K-State that he played amazing?
Yeah, he played great against K-State. All of a sudden he's not playing, so people were like really excited to see him against Howard, and then nothing.
Yeah, it's these high upside guys, you know, that we
and
want.
Show that upside. Yeah. People were really excited to see that. And then Pierce, who has just been like, if you hear anything about the talk of the Tiger season, it's like, how good does Trent Pierce play? And we haven't get to see him yet. So it just feels. I think there's a lot of potential angst and people and Tiger fans being Tiger fans a little bit.
Yeah, I think we're looking for stuff to talk about right now.
Yes. I think, at least for me, if they're playing by Minnesota, I'm chill. Because because that's a actual legitimate team that we should still beat, but an actual legitimate team. See how the team plays together. And if you want to do a positive spin on this, it means you're giving guys like Northweather, who probably won't play as much, but getting some reps now early. You're getting Stone a lot more minutes. You're getting actually the freshmen didn't play against Howard, so I was going to say the freshmen more time to play, but they didn't touch the floor at all against Howard. But
it's really just a couple of guys that are getting extra minutes now. Yeah.
And then second of all, we'll get this kind of in our preview, but like, I think another thing that's kind of making people feel angsty is that visually, Ant and Mark haven't played a good game yet. And while their numbers are looking fine, if not good, like everyone kind of said Ant had a bad game, but he was still plus 20, plus or minus. Plus and minus is a sucky stat, but like 20 plus and minus against Howard. Since they haven't played good games yet, it's like, ugh. I think for anyone who wants to feel bad has a reason to feel bad, and these injuries just give them another reason to feel bad, and they're going to wait until something really good happens, which I get, but I've always tended to be more on the optimist camp in these sort of things.
Yeah, it's frustrating for sure. Like, I totally understand, like, people being mad about it, and the people that kind of criticize Gates, like, I think people have a right to be upset. I don't know if, like, I think the criticism of Gates is necessarily valid in this case. Like, we don't exactly know what's going on behind the scenes. And like I said, if it's for the betterment of the team, like, I'm cool with it, whatever's better for them. And I was thinking the same thing. Like, I was kind of targeting that Minnesota game of like, if people are back, everything's looking okay. No one will, you know what I mean? No one will care. Like we will not look back on this at the end of the season and be like, remember when he was hiding injuries from us? You know, he didn't let Boat play against VMI. Like, you kidding me, bro?
True.
Like,
all true.
Assuming that we win these games at least, which we should.
Last non-preview thing. Do you have a Power Master subscription, Curtis? I never asked.
I do not currently. I did, and then I canceled it.
Just switch to 247.
Apologies to Drew King. I have not re-upped it yet.
I was going to say, he released an article about his travels to Howard.
Yeah.
And you would have really liked his experience at Howard. One, he gives the advice that if he always wears a suit, so people are more likely to like believe him when he says he's media.
Yeah.
But two, they didn't have an actual media section because no one's ever there as media.
Yeah, it's just a gym.
So he just found a fold-out chair and just sat on the court next to a plug-in.
They just let him, Hold on there, that's amazing.
He talked about how at one point the Howard mascot walked up and said, "What are you doing?" He said, I'm like writing a story about the game. And the mascot just stood behind him for the entire second half and looked at his laptop, which then he found a picture someone took of, the mascot just menacingly standing behind
hovering
him,
over,
just like reading what he was
a bison just lingering over his shoulder. No, that sounds good. I'll have to re-up on my Power Mizzou stuff, so then I'll stop relying on you to let me know what the message boards are saying. Free content.
Yeah. But Drew, if you're listening, that was funny. All right, so SEMO, you ready? Southeast Missouri, right?
Southeast Missouri State University.
What is SEMO? SEMO. Southeast Missouri State University, yes. Yeah. The Red Hawks.
Cape Girardeau, believe.
Let's see. They have 9,000 students. Cape Girardeau, Missouri. I won $1,400 at craps at the casino in Cape Girardeau.
In Cape Girardeau.
So special. The casino in Cape Girardeau is cheap. So if you want to gamble on cheap, that's where you should go. A shout out to the Red Hawks. Rate their mascot, Curtis. How Red Hawks? Have you seen the visual of the mascot?
No. So you mean like the actual costume?
One, the name. Two, the visual. Right. I would say it's like a 6.5. I think Red Hawks is a nice name. I think these smaller schools need to go way goofier with how their mascots look to really stand out.
Yeah. We all love that. It's like some Sickos Committee stuff. That's a weird. What's his name? I just had it up there. Either Rowdy.
Like the face of the hawk is intense.
Yeah.
So, but I'd say 6.5.
It looks. It kind of depends on the angle. In some photos, it looks like weirdly feminine, which like not that I have a problem with that, but it seems a little bit interesting.
Their actual like standing mascot, the head is actually really funny, so I'll give them that. Bumps it up to a 7 for me. But the SEMO Redhawks, let's run through their quick KenPom stats. So they ended last season at 21-12, respectable, at 205 in the KenPom rankings. They start this year at 255. We are considered, of course, a lock to beat them. They lost their first game of the season 92-67 to the St. Louis Billikens, who are 65th in KenPom. So if you're comparing, hypothetically, we should beat them more in a perfect world, but not a good team. The stats bear that out. Of course, Mike usually does this section, but we're gonna both try to become Mike here in spirit. Looking at their Bayesian player ranking, their Byzantine lordship rankings, only 2 of their players are considered above average. The rest of their players are not. So watch out for Braxton Stacker and Brendan Terry. Braxton Stacker is a good basketball name.
That was my favorite. Yeah,
Braxton stacking the buckets.
It's perfect. I know that was going to be my big thing. Like if I didn't have to talk stats, my main thing about their roster is just going to say Braxton Stacker is an absolutely top tier name. So yeah, it looks like Stacker. BJ Ward is another guy. His like BPR rating wasn't very good, but he had 16 points in their first game. Plays a lot of minutes. He's I believe he went to Chaminade. He's from St. Louis, and and so this is his 3rd season, I believe. His 3rd season at SEMO, but from somewhat a local guy from Chaminade. So yeah, he plays a ton of minutes at guard for them.
Another strong name on their team, PJ Farmer. I think that's a good name.
No, it's no Braxton Stacker.
Stacker, but a PJ Farmer. There's a lot you can do with that if he's like a big player on your team. Basically, the only thing their players are somewhat good at are defense. They have pretty good defensive ratings. Their offense is very bad, which shows in the sense that they only scored 67 against St. Louis. Now, they did let St. Louis score 92 on them, so their defense can't be that amazing, but that's probably something they'll come out more when they play competition of their level.
Yeah. Slew's no slouch.
Slew's no slouch. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
I know, that sounded good coming out.
VMI on Sunday. So almost a back-to-back, which is where load management would really come in. VMI ended last season at 287 in KenPom with a 15-19 record. Not great. Do you know what VMI stands for, Curtis?
Virginia Military Institute.
And on this podcast...
I lived in Virginia for a while.
We support... I forget you're a Virginia guy. We support our Virginia military academies.
Of course.
Their logo
a bunch of famous generals went either went there or taught there. It's been around forever.
Nice. What's their mascot?
Oh, the generals? I honestly have no idea.
They are the Keydets.
The Keydets?
And their mascot is a kangaroo.
All right, I didn't know that. I guess I'm sorry. I've been disrespecting my own Virginia-ness on that one. I've never. He is never
an angry kangaroo wearing a military uniform, and honestly, it gets a 9 out of 10 for me. This is a sick.
Okay, I'm looking at this.
Logo.
This is incredible.
This is sick.
Mo the kangaroo. Anybody listening?
Mo the kangaroo, the Keydet. Is there a way you could flash this on the YouTube version? Is there a way you could flash this on the YouTube version?
Yeah. I'll add a photo of Mo. Don't worry.
This is great. 9 out of 10 VMI. Great mascot.
It looks like the CGI kangaroo from Kangaroo Jack. Like the one that was not real, but it was all buff and talking and wearing the sunglasses and everything. It almost looks like that. He's got donkey teeth. I don't know.
I just love how mad he looks.
There's a lot to unpack
in his
here.
powerful military uniform.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's sick. Okay.
So shots to VMI, they won their first game. Now this was interesting because I'm looking on Google, and the team's bad when Google doesn't include the picture of their school crest or anything or their mascot. There's nothing. There is a faceless plate. They beat JW Charlotte 122 to 58. Now I tried Googling the school. I couldn't find anything until I had to really find like the actual name of the school. It is Johnson and Wales University, a small private business school with campuses in Providence and Charlotte. They are Division 3. And VMI beat them 122 to 58. They are beating up literal accountants on soft basketball scholarships.
Yeah.
The future
122 to 58. Losing like that.
That's feel good. That's a game you win so badly. It's not even fun at the end. Probably you're like, can we finish? I gotta like.
No, yeah. like going playing a high school, in a high school, when you had to go against somebody who's like a different class than you, and that it's just absolutely.
When it's like,
fun.
are you sure you're supposed to be in high school? That's what it feels like.
I do have a fun fact about JWU. Just because again, we didn't know this school existed.
Nope.
Until we had to do this research. Notable alum from JWU, Chef Emeril Lagasse.
Who's that?
Who would have thought? Bam, the Bam guy.
Oh,
Emeril?
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, one of the pioneers of television.
We didn't do any famous SEMO.
I've got them ready to go. I didn't know if we were.
Yeah, who's some famous SEMO
Let's just continue going here then. So famous SEMO alums. Two very different people that I wanted to mention. Number one, Rush Limbaugh. So pretty, and also his son. But anyone you name after that is going to be a pretty big shift.
Is Rush Limbaugh's name actually Rush?
I always thought so, but
because that's a powerful name to give your kid. Like you're expecting them to do good things. Or
I wonder if it's like a family name or something that they just kind of let him.
Holding your child, like let's name him Rush.
Yeah, so he was born. He was born in Cape Girardeau. And went to SEMO.
Stables just like me.
Yeah, that's how he made his money.
That's how he made his money. He started his radio station. Yeah,
became super. That's why he became so conservative. So anyway, Rush Limbaugh, and then number two, again, huge pivot here, Cedric the Entertainer.
Wow, the contrast, dude.
Huge contrast. I don't know Cedric the Entertainer's politics. Truth be told, but. But yeah, just in many ways, I guess they were both entertainers technically. Rush the Entertainer and Cedric the Entertainer were my two notable SEMO alums. And then going into VMI, I mentioned a bunch of famous like U.S. War generals, your Pattons and all that. Two guys that went to VMI, Virginia Military Institute, mind you, again, where all these generals taught or went, are Mel Brooks, the guy from Blazing Saddles and Spaceballs and all the, like one of the most famous comedians of our lifetime, Mel Brooks. I don't think he graduated, but he went there, which was just absolutely shocking because I anticipated the entire list being strictly like generals and, things like that. Let's see. George Marshall was another famous one. But the other strange one that I found, Fred Willard. Again, so Fred Willard and Mel Brooks,
dang,
two iconic
crazy
comedians of our lifetime.
Can I
from Best in Show, etc.
Can I give you? I quickly opened up Rush Limbaugh's Wikipedia because I wanted to find his son's name because I wanted to see if he named him a powerful name like Rush. Instead, I happened upon the Viagra incident on Rush Limbaugh, where in 2006 he was detained by airport police for having Viagra on him from the Dominican Republic that he didn't have a subscription for.
A prescription.
Yeah, prescription. Sub to the group.
Like, subscribe to Viagra.
Well, that's
smash
something.
that subscribe button.
Anyway,
that is interesting. Yeah. No, we can do a whole breakdown of the Viagra. Yeah, the Viagra incident. Yeah, can you tell that we're pretty confident about this?
I would like in one of these games. Let's do what we'd like to see. Mm-hmm. I need to see Ant and Mark to have dominant games in one of these two.
Yeah, I'm cool.
It's like,
I'm cool if it's just like
right
one of them. If Ant has a really good game against SEMO, and then Mark shows out against VMI. That's cool. That's cool with me. I don't need both of them to dominate both games necessarily, but just looking at the rosters that they're playing. The size or rather lack of size and athleticism from most of these guys. From everything I could find, it seems like it should be a pretty easy win. Yeah, again, I don't know too much about the advanced data, and they've also only played one game, so I don't even know what data is really out there. But I agree with you. I would really like Ant or Mark to kind of show out in one of these.
I also, what's the best way to put this? I'm curious if there's one thing I'm potentially curious about is, can Mark be as successful on this team with Phillips as it was on last year's team with Gray? And I think the thing about last year's team is there's a lot more consistent shooting, which opened up space for him. If that's not the case on this year's team, he'll get packed to paint a lot. And with Phillips playing there, will that be not enough space? Especially if they continue to start Jonte Porter, who had a good game against Howard, by the way. Because rewatching that, they did a lot of good things, but also it felt like Howard just packed the paint, and Mark was struggling against that. So I'm curious.
No, I completely agree.
That's a thing to keep the old eyes on.
Both of those factors, both the switch from Gray to Phillips, who we anticipate will be a little bit more of a presence inside. Yeah, but that'll affect the defenses that that Mitchell's going to have to face. And then, like you mentioned, the shooting's not going to be nearly as consistent nor explosive, I don't think, as it was last year from the outside. So both of those factors are going to lead to Mark's going to have a tougher time in the paint. But we did see him. I mean, basically, just go up against two guys. They would double team him down low, even in SEC play last year, and he would find a way to get it in. Like his touch, just like ability to get the ball in the hoop when he was around it, maybe like within 3 feet, was absolutely incredible.
I think that's where Trent playing is a lot more helpful. I think Porter doesn't pull people out like Trent would. I think Trent would be a much more respected 3-point shooter than Porter.
Yeah,
and I wonder if they'd actually been more value in starting Cruz there instead of Porter. But that's why I'm not coach. I think Porter is probably a more well-rounded player than Cruz, but also really weird. I don't know why Cruz played. Like I even asked, I'm also on the Rock M boards, and I asked Matt Harris. I was like, was there a reason that Cruz didn't play? And he said, I don't know. He didn't seem to play bad. Just must have been a coach decision in that game. So like, there's nothing he did that suggests why he just shouldn't have played more, but just must have been the
And
matchup.
we haven't heard anything that's like, that suggests that that's indicative of like what we're going to see the rest of the season. I
don't know.
It's like it might just been a
we might
been a
see
one-off.
Cruz play 26 minutes. We'll see. It's just we're
absolutely.
Kind of
it's early. It's weird. Yeah, it's early. It's bad competition. It's hard to know what to kind of take from a lot of that stuff.
Speaking
maybe it's
of future
just
competition,
letting them cook. Yep.
Speaking of future competition, I did a quick look at how our rest of our non-con teams are looking. I didn't do the ones we should beat, right? I did the ones that are actually real teams. So Minnesota, Notre Dame both start 1-0 against bad teams. Great for them. Kansas, which is starting to rate 19th. This is interesting. They destroy Green Bay. That's nice. But they will play Notre Dame before us. So I think that's an interesting way to gauge similarities when we're both playing the same teams. So
because we will have a mutual,
Yes, so they'll play Notre Dame, and then we'll play Notre Dame. Kansas, though, in their non-con, is going to play number 6 Duke, number 4 UConn, Princeton, Syracuse, all before playing Mizzou and Notre Dame. So I bring that up because they are going to be more tested, more known. And I think this is an interesting comparison to philosophy, where it's obvious Self is trying to put his team in as many difficult situations as possible, while Gates purposefully stays out of those. He had some, right? Like we have Illinois, Kansas, Notre Dame, Minnesota. Like those are good teams to test again, but not the same level as Kansas or even Illinois, which I'll get to in a second. So I think that's an interesting point. Bethune-Cookman almost beat Auburn in overtime, and we were smoking that Bethune-Cookman pack. And then they went out and they lost 61-101 to Miami today.
40
points.
What? 61 to 101?
61-101.
Yeah, I think that Auburn game might have taken a little bit out of them.
So rest in peace, Bethune-Cookman.
They'll get right before conference play. They're still going to win it. Don't worry.
Well, the question is Auburn really bad? Is Miami better? Was Bethune-Cookman exhausted? Was it just an emotional drain?
Yeah.
Like, they're college kids, so many things to say. But, like, I don't think Auburn's that good.
That's the hot takeaway here.
I don't think Auburn's good. And I think a big reason Bruce Pearl retired was because Auburn is bad.
I mean, there's a couple reasons. Yeah,
there's a couple
few reasons Bruce Pearl retired.
Looked at that and went,
but yeah, but
good luck,
also,
son.
I mean, dude, I was going to say if that's your reason for leaving, then like kind of a jerk move to stick it on your kid. Like, if you think the roster's too bad for you, and you're like, well, I had to pay my dues. All right, hop in there, buddy. So kind of a weird thing.
For a blast from the past here.
Yeah,
Illinois opened the season beating Jackson State 113-55. Yes, that Jackson State that beat Missouri Tigers 2 years ago.
Oh wow,
different players, of course, but
yeah.
I saw that name. I immediately had like Vietnam style flashbacks.
Yeah.
But also interesting, Illinois before playing the Tigers is going to play Texas Tech, Alabama, UConn, Tennessee, Ohio State before playing Mizzou. So they also will have lot more experience. So I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting to see teams that are doing the opposite of Gators' style, and we'll see how it's going to play out.
But that's interesting because, like, Kansas, we know that that's always kind of been their MO. Like, basically since the, like, one-and-done era, which, like, boy, I'm old. That was a long time ago where that started. Your Dukes, your North Carolinas, your kids, your Blue Bloods, basically. They have been in the habit of scheduling each other in these early season games, test each other. The losses is not going to look bad at the end of the year. It's not going to be held against you. But I feel like it's in these Blue Bloods bring in so much incredible talent every year. And again, one and done era, they're losing a lot of incredible talent every year. So they wanted to get these kids as much experience as possible, as quickly as possible. And so that's kind of been the norm for like your Blue Blood programs. Illinois going hard like that. I don't consider Illinois blue blood. I mean, I know they've had success in our lifetime, but that's crazy. That's a crazy, crazy non-con for Illinois. So yeah, they'll all be more tested, but I think like Missouri will be okay. We have enough games against like decent competition where I'm not too worried about it. I think by the time that maybe the Kansas game, I don't think maybe we'll be quite as geared up as the Kansas team might be in terms of like being in form. But by the time we get to Illinois and then the start of conference play, I think we'll be okay. I think we have enough games against decent teams.
Let's hope so.
Would you like a? I have a blast from the past for you as well. Again, we didn't have our stats guide tonight, so. Fill in a few extra minutes here. Last time we played SEMO, 2024. We only won by 7, which was not ideal. Or wait a minute, I'm sorry. I believe this was it was 2022, the 2022 season. I apologize. Okay. So pretty straightforward. We won by 7, but Kobe Brown had 25. Demoy Hodge had 15. Pretty straightforward. The time before that we played them was actually when you and I were there. We were in the Antlers in 2014. Guess our 3 leading scorers from the game in 2014 against SEMO. There's some names you're going to recognize, but maybe some that you won't think of off the top of your head. Make some guesses. Anyone from the 2014 team?
2014. Okay, I graduated in 2012. That was the year we lost to Norfolk State.
Yeah.
I graduated high school. 2012.
Yeah.
2 years later. By then, was that Kim Anderson?
Yes. I believe that was Kim Anderson here.
Negus Webster Chan was on that team.
No, he left the year before.
Gil Caesar?
Yes, Montecchi Gil Caesar.
You
pulled that one out.
That name stuck with me. Montecchi Gil Caesar.
Montecchi Gil Caesar.
Rosberg
had 4 points.
Bosberg.
Yeah, we had 8 players that scored in that game. You've gotten 2.
Jordan Clark? No, not Jordan Clarkson.
No, he was gone 2. We only had 3 players in double figures. I'll give you the big one.
Brother.
He ended up transferring. Jonathan Williams III.
The actual only goal.
Yeah, Jonathan Williams. He was great.
I remember watching his recruitment video, and it took him 30 extra minutes to start, and the entire time it was in a church, and they just had this like choir music playing in the background, and then it took
his announcement thing.
Yeah, his announcement. It took like 30 minutes to announce.
His commitment. Yeah. So Jonathan Williams, Techie Gil Caesar, the only other player in double figures, Keith Schamberger. There's a name I haven't heard. Yeah.
Dude. Can you just read that roster? Can you just read that roster real fast?
Yeah. So Jonathan Williams, Montucky Gil Caesar, Keith Schamberger, Ryan Rosberg, Naaman Wright, Tremaine Isabel. Naaman Wright, yeah. I thought he was going to be the truth.
Tremaine Isabel,
D'Angelo Allen. Yeah. Deuce Bello, Keanu Post. Huh?
Keanu Post?
Yeah.
And Deuce Bello was the ultimate. Deuce Bello was the Matt McClung of college basketball. Would come out and do some amazing dunks.
He was so athletic. Is he? He ended up being like a rapper.
Really?
For a while. Yeah. I like still followed him on Instagram for forever.
Dude, were these the players who came to one of our parties and said that they think they could go to the Final
Four? These players came to a few of our parties, but yes, one of the players that I just named was involved in the Chug the Corn incident. And then those are just the players that played in this game. There's another player on the roster who did not play that was involved in the punching of the somebody's garage one time. But to be fair, someone told him to do that.
So, yeah, he was told to. True.
Yeah, so
I'm saying if
we don't
a
hold
lot
it
of players
against
on a basketball team are going to. If a lot of players on a basketball team are going to any other party, it doesn't bode well for a season. That's all.
No, I think it means that like maybe these guys aren't like top tier talent. And no offense to these dudes, but I think like almost all of them were gone. Shout out Ryan Rosberg for sticking it out.
Bossburger.
The whole time. Love you, Ryan Rosberg. And he brought us pizza one time.
Remember that 14 games where he just became the best player in the world?
When we were so bad and everyone had given up on the season, and I think Kim Anderson was basically like, I don't like these kids and they don't respect me. And so you know who does respect me? Ryan Rosberg. I'm going to give him all the minutes in the world. And he had like posterized that guy on Florida, like two-handed slam right in front of us. Ryan Rosberg, oh man, that was incredible. There was the famous, I can't remember if it was the Tribune or the Post-Dispatch, but the front of the sports page was Ryan Rosberg with his arms around us in the student section after like one of the games. And the headline was, "Playing for Pride." It's like, that tells you everything you need to know about how that season went. The headline was just for pride at this point, guys. Like, we got absolutely nothing. But then, yeah, okay, whatever. I've talked about this team enough. Yeah, I saw another player on that roster buying blunt wraps at a gas station off Grindstone one time. I won't name him. Yeah. That was a heck of a team. So I had to go back because we were at that game. We know a lot of those guys. And that was, not the last time we played SEMO, but two times ago.
That was a good blast from the past. All right, man. I think that's all we got. We will be back on Monday to react to both. We're not going to do live reactions or anything yet because it's SEMO and VMI. But we will be back on Monday to talk about those games. So I will see you then.
MIZ.
MIZ.